Hurry. Gotta hurry. It's almost there. Oh, we're not gonna make it. Oh, we're so far away. Ah! We're not gonna make it. Yes, yes, Koroks, I understand. Cooking pot. Where's the cooking pot? Where is it? It's not over here. Where is it? Ah! It is that time. Guys, you're loud. How am I supposed to have a spooky atmosphere? How am I supposed to... Oh, the timer's already start. Look what you did. You distracted. But it was all a ruse. Because today, we don't need the blood moon. No, we don't. Because critical cooking does not require... is not required. Because today... No, we didn't come to this stable for its cooking pot. Or its gorgeous view of the moon, which is gorgeous. Hiding behind the clouds there, that full moon. We came here. Where is he? There he is. We came here for Beetle Friend. How you doing, buddy? Yeah. Oh, it is a... yes. I'm doing a thing here. Sure. Yes, yes, you can have my beetle. We are trying to sell. So, when it comes to cooking to sell, there's some important things to consider. First is, what is the thing that we're selling? How easy is it to get? But also, how valuable is it? So one of the things that you might think to sell would be gourmet meat. It's 35 rupees. I've got 11 of them. That's a pretty decent profit. We could sell these for 385. No, we're not going to, Beetle. But then I also have this prime meat, and I have way more prime meat than gourmet meat. Prime meat's easier to get. Most creatures will drop the prime meat compared to the few creatures that will drop gourmet meat. And gourmet meat isn't guaranteed, whereas in a lot of situations, the prime meat will be guaranteed. So even though it's significantly less, it's easier to get a lot of it. I'm not even going to talk about bird meat, really, since it's much more difficult to get. There are places where you can ambush birds and do so with a bomb, and that will get you some roasted bird drumsticks, which are 12 apiece, compared to the 8 normally. And that's not such a bad use of a bomb. I mean, if you can... I think I got all of these by spending just 3 bombs, and we'll give them all to him. So for 3 bombs, I got 200 rupees, and I think the 3rd bomb was wasted. Probably could have thrown 1 bomb or 1 dragon spike and achieved the 216 rupees here. Thanks, buddy. Now, that dragon spike that I just mentioned, where is it? Here we are. Is only worth 30 rupees, but they're not easy to get a hold of. But still, trading that 1 dragon spike for... And if I had used the electrical spike, it would have left behind regular meat. I believe these don't cook. I think it just tases them, they die, and then you have the regular meat left behind, which you can then cook. Because even though that we got a 50% markup on that meat back there, the drumsticks, we can get even more of a markup. So let's go with that 8 rupee drumstick. We're gonna take it, and we're gonna cook. Come back outside, take it, and we throw it in the pot. Alright, and we make a meat skewer. But we're not gonna stop there. We're gonna put 2 together. And then we're going to put 4 together. Then we're going to put 5 together. And we're going to compare that to the one roasted. No, 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 no. Oh, no. I was aiming for the fire. I hit the pot. Amateur work. Hello again, Beetle. I know you're trying to sleep, but I'm trying to perform. Yes, yes, yes. You love your Beetle. So, come into here. Here's our single meat skewer. 9 rupees. That's not even as much as the roasted one, right? Then we have the double. Now we're up to 20 rupees. Okay, that's 10 apiece. With 4, we're up to 51 rupees. Now we're getting closer. I think we've broken? Yeah, we've broken over that 50% markup. Because these would be slightly more than 12 rupees a piece for the 4 together. But when you put 5 together, that's where it becomes exceptionally magical. What do we got here? We got, is that 18 a piece? No, 14. What? Math. It's 5, not 4. I'm doing the math wrong. So it's, hey Google. I'm a cook, not a math. Can you help me out here? It's early in the morning. I am embarrassed that I cannot do this in my head. Okay, it's just 14.4, just over 14. So by putting 5 together, you can see it exponentially increases the value you get for per ingredient. But most importantly is not until you start getting to 4 and even 5 ingredients does it really start going above and beyond. So we're going to get rid of these. Yes, yes, yes. Get rid of them all. So as you can see, putting 5 ingredients together, you get the most return. But just blasting them and having them become roasted is honestly not that bad of an alternative. And the best part about that is that you can just sell the whole stack at once. Like if I wanted to sell all these roasted apples, I could just sell it all at once. Whereas when you're cooking, you have to sell each individual one over and over and over. So that can get quite annoying. So honestly, when it comes to hunting, you may just want to hunt with fire weapons and bombs just to roast them and get them into your cooking inventory right away. Now, that said, meat honestly isn't one of the best ways to get money. I mean, it's fun going out and hunting and getting all the ingredients, and I highly recommend if you ever see a group of animals together, throw a bomb, get that meat. It's fantastic. But the real money is in monster parts. Right, I don't know why I came out here. We need to go talk to Beetle again. Hey buddy, I made a mistake. Let's talk. Yes, yes, I understand. What you got? Nope, wrong button. My brain. No, no, no. What I've got. So here, we have valuable monster parts. And again, we could sell these. Like, look at this. I have 124 of these. I could sell them all for a ton of money, and they're not very difficult to get more. And as far as convenience goes, honestly, you may just want to do that. Just hoard a bunch. Find a monster that you can kill easily, and farm it up and get that money. Because this is actually probably one of the better ones, because honestly, once you get the hang of taking down the Molduga, it's just a matter of waiting for them to respawn. Another example here is the Molduga guts, which are also pretty expensive. Lionel guts are much more expensive, much more of a challenging target though, so I wouldn't recommend going after them. But as you can see here, the guts are pretty valuable, especially the stronger monsters. The fins, because they come in large numbers on the Molduga, are pretty valuable. Most of the horns don't have a lot of value. Mostly because the ones that are actually valuable are significantly hard enough to get that you wouldn't want to farm them up. You note that dragon horns are valuable. However, they do not impart their value onto what you cook. When you cook them, they enable a critical cook. They also enable special properties. When you use the dragon horn, it'll make an elixir. The buff for an elixir or for a food lasts for 30 minutes, but it does not include the price of the horn when you go to sell that item. You've got the Gleeok horns, they're okay, but again, these are difficult to take down. The Phoenix Toenail is worth thinking of because some of the Phoenix, even the strongest one, is not too terribly difficult to tackle, and the Black Phoenix and the Black Phoenix specifically drops a lot of toenails when you defeat them. So that's actually a good one to think about is the Phoenix Toenail. If you have trouble fighting the Molduga, then the Phoenix Toenails might be something for you to grab. You could also farm Talus for their rubies as well, or for their gemstones as well, because gemstones are valuable, but there's no way to increase the price you're going to get out of them, and they're mostly valuable for, like, you randomly get what you get, and you could farm Talus. Talus might actually be, that's worth experimenting, but you can't cook with them, so we're not talking about that. We're talking about cooking. Um, But yeah, most of the horns that you can cook with are not super valuable. Um, Tails, not really. Teeth. Now, teeth, on the other hand, again, just similar to the toenails, the teeth and the talons and the claws drop in large numbers. So you can sell them off to make some money. It's pretty good early game when you're struggling to fight some of the bigger monsters. You can just farm up some teeth or some horns, like the boss bokoblins. Once you get a really good weapon together, the boss bokoblins aren't too terribly difficult to tackle, and their teeth are, no, they're okay. They're worth a decent amount of money. But we're gonna make some elixirs now. We're gonna use as our base ingredient. I have a lot of these deep fireflies that I have no plans to use for anything, so we're going to use them. Or actually, let's just use the restless crickets. We'll sell green juice today. So I have lots of restless crickets laying around, and they cost 2 rupees a piece. Okay, so let me start writing this down so we can do our math. So the restless cricket is 2 rupees. Now the Molduga guts are 110 rupees. Bokoblin guts are ones I would recommend cooking with, so I wouldn't suggest you sell those. And the other guts are, in my opinion, not as easy to get, but I don't know, maybe you decide you want to harvest them. They do have different values and whatnot, but I don't know, I think the Molduga guts versus how easy they are to get and how many drop, I think they're probably the best one to do this with for guts. Their fins are also a pretty good target, although honestly, as we said with the meat, it may just be better just to sell them as a stack as opposed to trying to cook with them in large numbers, because it would just be a lot of tedious work when I can already get a ton of money out of them by just selling the whole stack. Um, any other good targets that I wanted to, I mean, there are. Where are they? It's important to remember you cannot cook with the spikes, but you can just sell them flat out. Like if you're doing a lot of dragon harvesting and you end up with a bunch of them, they are pretty valuable. You could sell them, but I've regretted every single one that I sold at this point because I'd rather have them in my inventory to use as weapons. Then we have the talons. I think the Lizalfo's Talon is probably one of the easier ones to get because you can one-shot the elemental Lizalfos, the ice one and the fire one, can be one-shot by their opposing element, and that they drop a lot of the talons when you do that. I haven't confirmed it, but I'm not sure if they drop their tails still, because you'll notice I don't have any ice Lizalfos tails. And those are the ones I almost always blast right away with elemental attacks. I'll have to experiment with that. But they do still drop talons, and those talons are 15 apiece. So we have the talons. What was the 30 I talked about earlier? Oh, I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, the fins. The guts. And let's do the bokoblin teeth as well. Teeth, the boss teeth, that is. Those are at 15. Helix teeth are also pretty valuable. And if you're doing Helix toenails, let's do the Helix toenails and the Helix teeth as well. So those are 20 for the toenails. And I think 30 for the teeth. You could also do Lionel hooves, but again, you don't get a lot of those unless you're defeating the stronger Lionels. And if you're at the point where you're defeating the Lionels effortlessly enough to consider farming their hooves for money, then you probably should just be looking at the Molduga fins for money. Oh, hey, Run Rob Frog. Did not notice you there. We're doing a cooking show. So yeah, those are some of the parts that are the easiest to get in large numbers. The Helix drop a ton of them and they're not too difficult to fight. The Molduga, once you get the hang of it, drops a ton of fin and guts. Oops. Now, once we get to the pot, again, we're going to use a very basic ingredient, because when you're farming or cooking for money, when you're cooking elixirs up for money, the ingredient you're going to use is going to be something that you want to, that you don't really have an attachment to. It's because if you, there's not really none of the critters really give a lot of money, and you're better off, like the hardy lizard, you're better off using that for an elixir you'd actually use, not for something you plan on selling. So just grab a cricket, and then we're going to go and we'll start with the guts, and we'll put 4 of those in. Oh. And I'm going to do the same with all the different items that we put on our list. And, ooh, it just occurred to me. Alright, so I better keep them in order, because the, all these elixirs are actually going to look the same on the surface, because they're all just including 1 cricket, which is going to have, doesn't have a duration or anything. Well, that one was a critical cook, so there's that. That'll help us identify that one. Then we have this one. We'll come down and find a talon. Where's our talon? Lizalfo's talon. Boop. Go ahead and jump through there. And then the next one is the teeth. That would be the boss bokoblin teeth. Although they have the same value as the talons. So it's not like we're going to learn much here, but I did say I would cook them, so there they are. Boom. Teeth juice. We'll make some toe juice. Where are the toes at? There they are. And we'll make some more teeth juice with the Helix teeth. Boop. Okay. There we go. Alright, so they're in our inventory. They're in the order we made them. I gotta be careful not to sort my inventory, because then it will mix them up out of order. We are selling. Alright, so here's our elixirs. And you can see right away, the clear winner here obviously was the one with the most parts. So that was taking 4 guts and a simple cricket, which those ingredients would have been 420 or 442, but instead we now have 795. Now, I forget how to math. Let me see if I can figure out that ratio real quick. I want to say it's... how do I clear this? There we go. 442 divided by 795 doesn't give it to us, right? Yes, it does. So that is a 55% markup. More than half that we got from just roasting the meats. But the important thing is that you can't roast the guts. So this is the only way that you can increase the value of the guts. And that one elixir with those Molduga guts got a huge markup. So while with the fins, I would absolutely... Like, I'm not going to do this with the fins. I'm not going to make 40 elixirs so that I can sell, 160 fins. That's just not going to happen. It would take too long, and I don't think it's really worth it. But when it comes to selling the guts, oh, you better believe I'm packing them in an elixir, because that will get the extra value out of them. The fins, speaking of which, 219. Uh, the ingredients, we had 122. That is a much bigger increase. Interesting. I'm doing the math right? So we had 4 guts, 1 restless cricket, 442. With the fins, we had 4 fins, which are at 30 apiece, so that would be 122, and they are going to sell for 219. Interesting. So the price did change then, because I wonder if the critical cook made it change. I used to think that that didn't affect anything. We'll have to test this. No, that's the same value. Never mind. It's around the same 55%. I think we're just getting some rounding. It's like the last one was 55.5. This was 55.7. But the game will round up value, so it's probably 55.5 repeating or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's a percentage based on the number of items. Well, someone smarter with math can figure out that formula. Then we have our talons here. Talons would have been 62, and we ended up with 101 or 111. Is that the same? No, slightly more. No, it's about the same. Yeah. Let me just make sure I'm doing this right. Pretty sure I am. I know my ratios. So the teeth, remember we said they had the same value, and here we ended up with the same thing. And then the toes, slightly more, and the Phoenix teeth, slightly more. And that 55% is going to be about it. So yeah, as far as what monster parts you want to harvest to sell, that's going to be up to your personal preference for what monsters you want to fight repeatedly. I ended up, usually what I end up doing is when I'm doing a big cooking thing where I'm like, all right, well, I know I have a bunch of the Molduga guts, so I'm going to cook all of them up. Well, then once I'm done cooking them up, I still have slots in my food section. So since I still have space for more meals, more elixirs, I might as well cook up some other stuff to sell as well. And that's when I'll come down and look at my items that I have a lot of, like the talons, and I'll just start whipping up elixirs full of those, or the teeth, or the toenails, or the hooves, whatever it is that I have that I know is a little more valuable. Although now that I see the toenails aren't that expensive, I might as well hold on to them. Why bother selling them at that price? The Phoenix teeth I probably would just rather hold on to as well. But I'm a bit of a hoarder. Like, I don't want to get rid of any of these things. That said, for me, it would be the Molduga. The Molduga, once you kill one of them, they drop multiple guts, like 3 or 4 apiece. They drop multiple fins, like a bunch, like a pile of fins. And on top of that, they also drop the Molduga jawbone, which I don't know if you've been paying attention. This is one of the best fusion horns you can get. Like, one of the best fusions, because it counts as a bone. So the Molduga for me is where it's at, but you can't always farm up Molduga, So I don't know what else I would farm. Probably the Hinox, because like if I was looking for monster parts specifically, just because like the Black Hinox horn is pretty valuable. They're not that difficult to take care of at all. Their teeth and toes are kind of valuable. But even then, it's like, you don't really get a lot of money out of killing them. I think if you're not slaying Molduga, you probably should just be going after the Talus for their rare drops. The rare Talus for their rupees, or for their gems that you can sell. Aside from that, like when it comes to the cooking, it may just be hunting with bombs, to, blowing up and getting the cooked meats is probably the most efficient way. That way you can just sell big stacks of it. And hunting for monster guts, it's okay. I mean, like I said, the Molduga's great for it, but the rest, they're either not really that expensive, or they're not worth the challenge of actually farming them up. Like, if you're farming Lionel guts, and Lionel horns, and Lionel hooves, you probably don't need the rubies that badly. And if you do, you probably are going to use a different method to get them. So, yeah, unfortunately, what we learned is that, selling elixirs and selling meals is not really as profitable as you might think. I mean, it's good for rupees here and there, but like, if you're trying to save up money for something big, like, I don't know, a house, you might want to consider, you know, just farming up cooked meat or farming up gemstones, because cooking to get money, it's okay, but there's much more efficient ways. Like, I was honestly surprised that the cooked apple, like, let's take our apples. Let's go with the apples. So we have 5 cooked apples. Yes, yes. So 5 cooked apples together is 27. Whereas 5 cooked apples here is 15. Oh, that seems like a big discrepancy. Hold on. 27? That's a significant increase, isn't it? Oh, no, the baked apples don't have any extra value added to them. Huh. Apples are weird. Okay. So I guess with cheap ingredients, maybe the ratio is different. Oh my. I might have some more I need to learn when it comes to cooking for rubies specifically. But as far as using the more premium items, like using your gourmet meat just to cook to sell it, I think you're better off holding on to it and using it for yourself, considering how easy the prime meat is to get. And when it comes to the prime meat, I think you're better off just hunting with, fire, like throwing a bomb, shooting a bomb arrow, hitting multiple targets, and then just harvesting the cooked meat. I think you're better off just doing that than trying to, because what I've been doing myself is I'll go around with a bow and I'll do my best to like headshot all the animals I can, and hoard up as much of the uncooked meat, and then I'll run over to the cooking pots and I'll cook up all that meat, and then I'll sell it to Beetle, and then I'll make money and I'll be happy. But honestly, it's a lot of work when all you gotta do to achieve similar enough results is go and find an animal and pull out a bomb and let it loose. Like, that's so much easier. And then you can ride the wind, go find another animal, and then let out another bomb out, and just boom. And then you can ride the wind again. Like, this is just so much easier and so much more fun. Obviously, in a place that's more populated with animals than this. But, yeah. So unless you're really trying to get into your hunting roleplay, I think bomb hunting and just, you know, selling bulk items is probably more efficient than trying to cook. But if you are trying to make some money, and you do have some of these valuable ingredients laying around, like the Molduga guts, even the Lionel guts, maybe you just need to get some quick money, and you have, some of these expensive ingredients. Absolutely cook them. Do not sell them as is. Throw a little cricket in the pot. Throw your Lionel guts in the pot, your Lionel hooves, whatever it is you're trying to make money off of. It is worth it to cook them, unless you're talking about selling huge numbers of them. Like, if I'm not gonna cook 200 talons together, I'm just gonna go sell them, and I'm gonna get money. Amounts of money. 3,000 money. 3,000 money is perfectly fine for me. I don't need to cook them all up just so I can get 4,500 money. It's not worth my time. In that time, I could go kill another Molduga. Or 4. Anyway, this has been Ninja Cooking. The sun is up. This was a weird episode. I think next time. What do you think? Next time. Next time. Next time on Ninja Cooking. Egg. Ninja out. Oh, to the thing. You know, we got the, hold up, video, other video, subscribe. Yeah.